at least the outlying areas. He is a retired chemical engineer. He has been working with us for about a year. In fact, his very first webinar with us here at Lipedema Simplified was on December 28th, 2021. And I know that because I went to that webinar and he had a special coupon code that was the date for those people who went to that webinar. He does some amazing work with the people in our community. We have found that CBD has been helpful for many things. And I know that some of you in the audience right now probably um, have already purchased CBD either from Bryan or from another reputable company that Bryan has helped you decide how to find high quality, effective CBD. And I know many of you use it daily, but some of us don't. We don't quite know the benefits or how to find a high quality CBD. And so that's why I brought Bryan on tonight. Hello, Bryan. How are you tonight?
Hi, Gail. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you.
So,
Do you want me
Bryan, I would love for you just to give yourself an introduction. But before we do that, I want to say hi to Debbie. Hi, Debbie. It's good to see you. And Blaze. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time since I've seen you, Blaze. And I'm so glad that you're here tonight, hon. So, with that, as people come in, please make sure that you drop either your name if your name doesn't show up, or your or where you're from, or to say hi. Jude is in the house. Hi, Jude. It's good to see you again, too, tonight. So, with that said, I'm going to let Bryan do some talking because either I'm busy talking and never shut up, or Bryan's busy talking and never shuts up. So, here you go.
No, I don't do that.
You know,
Do I?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you and I, we're cut from the same cloth. So,
Yep,
go
yep.
ahead, Bryan. Who
All right.
are you?
Try to be direct. Anyways,
Right.
yeah, my name's Bryan Hayward, and I've had osteoarthritis pretty badly. Even as a teenager, I had a lot of problems physically because my joints weren't seemed to be building up deposits on them even as a teenager, and as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. So the really bad thing is these hands of mine, they look terrible. I don't know if you can tell by looking at that, but so I found that I was living with a lot of pain, and my method of dealing with that was to take ibuprofen and Tylenol. I tried all different quantities, and I was up to 1,200 milligrams of Tylenol or NSAIDs, different ones, on a daily basis. And I found out from my doctor that I really shouldn't do that because it's destroying my stomach and my liver. So I wanted to know, well, what do you do then? And the answer was, well, you got to just kind of live with pain, and it'll come and it'll go, and it'll get really bad, and then it'll get a little better. But there was never anybody had a solution for me to what to do about it. So one of my daughters is a midwife, and she had a friend who used CBD in her practice, nursing friend, and so this nurse recommended that I try CBD. I did. The first time I tried it, I tried a salve. I put it on my hands, and within a few minutes, the pain was dramatically dropped, and I was completely surprised because nothing I had done before did that. And then I started taking tinctures, and capsules, tinctures that you take them through your mouth, and then they get into your bloodstream, and it reduces inflammation. And so what I found out was that inflammation was the big thing that was causing all the trouble with arthritis. It's just your body sending signals to your brain that says, I need help. And your brain keeps sending stuff there, and it sends way too much, and everything gets bad. So when I first met some of the people from Lipedema Simplified, I heard what they were talking about. I just kind of met Catherine at a entrepreneurs thing. And when I met her, she started talking about the ladies with lipedema and her work. And it sounded to me like it was possible that inflammation was a big part of the problem that people with lipedema had. And we talked a little bit about it, and it was like, we should try to see if this actually helps. Because the major thing that CBD does is it reduces inflammation. That's probably the number one thing that's mentioned most often in the technical literature that I read. So we tried it, started with some of the ladies and had them try it, and most of the ladies found dramatic results. And I was really so pleased to find that out, because people with lipedema live in a lot more pain than I've ever had to live in. And I really do. I'm sensitive to that. And I'm excited to be able to be helpful in that. So
Yeah.
that's
I can
basically the background.
I can tell you, Bryan, we did my chorus and I did a show on Saturday, and I haven't told you this yet,
Oh,
but I'm the president of the chorus. I'm a Sweet Adeline, and being the president, I had to get there early. I had to make sure everything was set up properly. I had to make sure that, we were having a cookie sale and a silent auction, and I had to make sure that everything in the foyer was set up properly. I had to make sure that ticket sales and programs and the stage was set. I was overseeing everything. So I got there at 9:30 in the morning. We did the show, and I got off the stage and had to then strike the set and everything and clean up the venue, make sure it was in perfect condition, and I got out of there at 6. I sat down only for about 5 minutes at intermission. The rest of the time, I was on my feet. I don't do that very often.
mm,
I do not stand on my feet, and I wasn't wearing good shoes. I had to wear my costume shoes, right? I can tell you right now, my feet kept me awake all night, and I had taken a CBD capsule. That's my normal dose in the evening, and my feet kept me awake. I didn't sleep at all. You know that I didn't sleep at all last night? Well, that was me. And in the morning, my husband asked me how I was doing, because he said, "Your legs jumped all night, and you kicked your feet all night, and you seemed miserable." And I told him I hurt, and he went over and he got um, the salve, right?
mm.
And which is there isn't hardly anything in it except CBD and some beeswax. It looks like this. Very herby, I use that, and he rubbed it into my feet. My feet had been having like electrical shock feelings. Just it just felt like it was all across my instep, all across the top of my feet, not the bottoms of my feet. The tops of my feet were just zapping. He rubbed it into my whole foot, just gave me a really nice, gentle foot massage, but made sure it was full of CBD. 5 minutes later, I was able to get out of bed. The zapping was gone. So whatever it was, like you said, our body is sending signals to our brain saying, "Send me something." And my brain says, "Here's some inflammation," or something, it's sending
Mm.
some back. The pain was so intense on my feet. And 5 minutes later, it was gone. I was able to get out of bed, and I took a CBD capsule. My legs were tired and sore, but they didn't ache. They were sore, because I'd been on
Mm.
them all day. And so after my shower, I put more on. And so about 4 or 5 times on Sunday, I put that CBD on, and every time my feet started just barely hurting, I put it on, and did it again yesterday, and today I didn't have to use it. But I can tell you, it was amazing to have that pain just fall away. And I would never have believed it. And I know a lot of the members of our community go, "Oh, yeah, right, like it's snake oil."
Mm.
But there's something special about CBD that makes it work, right?
Mm.
You call it the entourage effect?
Yep. Yep.
So will you explain a little bit about what CBD is
Okay.
and how the full spectrum CBD is effective because of the entourage effect? Will you explain that to us?
Sure. I'll try.
Okay.
Sure. Uh, so CBD, one of the things, I guess a lot of people have tried CBD and it had been totally ineffective for them. And there are reasons why that happens. And I'm going to try to explain some of that. One of the key things is that when the cannabis plant is the mother plant of all of marijuana and CBD. And in the early days, it was just the marijuana side of it with a lot of THC in it. And that was how people were getting high. That's what the cannabis plant was used for. In the last 20 years or so, they breed a separate line on the cannabis plant and they keep breeding it so that it gets less and less THC. And the end result of it is they now have hemp plant that's the federal government has accepted it as a non-psychoactive, very, very low trace amounts of THC in it, but almost all CBD and other compounds that are really important. So when I talk about using only full spectrum CBD, that's really important. It's one of the things that should be on the label of any CBD product that I would buy. It has to have full spectrum CBD on the label because that tells you that it's coming from the whole flower. And the whole flower on this cannabis plant that's been on the earth for millions of years, when humans have only been on for a couple of 100,000, the plant over all of these years has developed protection for itself. And so it's lasted all that time because it's very well protected. And the compounds that it's produced for that are all different kinds of compounds, not just CBD, but it's a lot of different compounds that are in there. There are CBD is what's called a cannabinoid. That's the term for it. And there are hundreds of different cannabinoids, not just CBD, in the whole flower. So whenever you buy full spectrum, you're getting all of these different cannabinoids, and each one of them has different things that it works well with. So part of the reason why CBD works so well for so many things is because it's not just CBD, it's a lot of compounds. And that the other things, there's things called terpenes, which are aromatic compounds that are in full spectrum CBD. They have a lot of effective things, including, calming people down and also reducing inflammation. There's a whole bunch of these different compounds all throughout this whole flower product that does really amazing things. Each one does a little bit, but when you put them all together, you get a thing that they've termed as the entourage effect, because you put it all together and the end result is so much more than you would get from just adding up the different compounds that are in there. So it's very important to be full spectrum. It's very important to be organic. Certified USDA organic should be on the label. And the third thing that I really care about being on the label is that the farm where the product is produced needs to be on the label. So when I have a product, this is one of my newer products. Can I get that on there? Oh no, it goes backwards. Anyway, my company,
it goes backwards to you. It goes backwards to you. See, I hold mine up. It goes backwards to me, but it doesn't go backwards to you, right?
Right. So
yeah.
All right. So that over on the right-hand side of your screen there, that's the hemp farm in the state of Massachusetts that produces this product. So I don't have any product that you don't know what farm it comes from. So you could look up on the internet that farm and call the two brothers that own the place, and they're just farmers and they really believe in doing things the right way. So the only people I deal with are people that I've met. I go to their farm, I can see what they do, and I know that they really care about a quality product. And that is so important. If it doesn't say the farm where it's grown, the hemp is grown on the label, what you're going to get is open market CBD, which is from anywhere in the world. And a lot of the countries that sell it the cheapest do not have any regulations on the production of the hemp. And studies by very well-known people in the industry have shown that an awful lot of the CBD that's on the market, most of it is not full spectrum because it's cheaper to do it without full spectrum. So most of it is not full spectrum, which means it's not going to work that well. So that right away, you're buying something and you're spending a lot of money on it, and it's not the right thing. So that's one of the things. The other thing is this stuff from all around the world is contaminated with pesticides, heavy metals. There's a lot of data. I like data. And so I've been reading lots of white papers, peer reviewed white papers, and I've learned about all this because I wanted to know what this was actually doing for me. And what it does is you get a super high quality USDA organic compound from a farm that you know. And if you put it on your body or you take it in your mouth, it's going to work as well as it can possibly work. And most of the ladies that have tried it in the lipedema community, or the people in the lipedema community, they find that most of them find that it's extremely effective. Most of them have stories like Gail just told. People who were immobilized, didn't get out of the house, don't leave the house because of the pain that they're in and their inability to walk. When they use the products, they feel better. A lot of other things help also, like diet. And, the lipedema simplified community knows a lot about how to deal with the consequences and the pain from lipedema. CBD is one of the things that people use, and a lot of people have found it to be dramatic. Like I know people who say, I was never going out of the house, and now I can get in the car and I can go to the grocery store. I will get groceries. And it doesn't happen immediately, but for a lot of people, pretty quickly, they start to feel better and they can walk without pain. And when you walk without pain, you're much more willing to walk. And so it's a really exciting thing.
Yeah.
So
Sharon wanted to know, I'm going to ask this because it is exciting. So is this Bryan's product or Bryan's company? So will you explain the difference between your company and the product
that I
that you
sell.
sell in your
Right.
company? Yes.
Right. So what I do is the products that you buy are manufactured by farmers who are under the jurisdictions of their states. Like the state of Massachusetts, very strict rules, USD approved guidance on how they control the CBD farming. And one of my other farms is from Vermont, and they have just as strict guidelines in Vermont. And so I buy the product from those people at a discount price, and then I sell it at their list prices, and I actually sell it at lower than the farmers' list prices. So it's the farmers who they don't go out and promote particularly their products. They really want to produce a product in a farm and sell it to someone like me, and they make decent money doing it this way because it's them to me. There's not a lot of big things, and so we can get it right out to people.
And so Bryan, when there are places where you can't sell to, and there are people who prefer to go into maybe a CBD store, a CBD dispensary,
Yep.
because you can't ship to Canada,
Right.
right? Because of their regulations. And some people say, "Well, I've got a place to sell CBD right up the street."
Right.
So people can purchase CBD from you, or they can purchase it someplace else.
Right.
But your main goal is to educate the lipedema community about how CBD benefits us through pain relief.
Right.
And not just any CBD, but like we put in the comments, and Bryan has explained, you can get full spectrum. You want to get organic, USDA organic certified, and you want the name of the farmer and know that it's single sourced.
Right.
And you can and where the what lab tested it. This way you know you're getting a high quality product.
Right.
Full spectrum is very important. And so somebody says, must the CBD cream that you rubbed on your feet Must it contain beeswax to relieve the pain? No, that's just for me. This is what's in this. It says apricot seed oil. That didn't do anything for me. Beeswax, coconut oil, shea butter, vitamin E, lavender, and organic CBD. Now, I know that the lavender has some calming effect, but the rest of those things, maybe vitamin E a little bit, but the organic CBD is what helped my feet. The rest of it is what made the liniment the smooth, creamy.
Mm.
The beeswax. Now, here's the thing I know about beeswax. Um, like honeycomb and beeswax, it has a little bit of a heat to it. Like if I have something with beeswax and I put it on my lips, it kind of has some heat to it. Now I don't know if it's just me or other people, but it might help the absorption by warming up the skin. But when you smell this, it just smells herbally. It's, as you can tell, it's green.
Mm.
Bryan, I think, do you sell the white cream too?
Yep, I have it's a new product line that hasn't actually arrived yet, but I have a really nice white cream that from another farmer that produces that, and so I'm going to have that available within the next month. So.
Yeah, and see, I don't care for the white cream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the smell of it. Maybe
Yeah.
because I like the smell of this herby green,
Right.
Thing so much. I'm like, oh yeah, because
Yeah.
it feels good, right? And I like the
Mhm.
smell and everything. So maybe the other just doesn't feel like this green thing that I'm so used to. I
Right.
love this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I put it
Great.
on that knuckle right there.
Mm.
All day long. So what I was going to say then is for Sharon wanted to know how often do I use the salve and how long would it last you personally? Okay. Um, I use this on my knuckles, especially in this right hand. They ache. I've had some. I'm right-handed, and I barehanded a baseball when I was in my early 30s. Dislocated. I mean, I've
Ah,
had injury to it. Right. It's just not. It just aches sometimes. I put this stuff on it, and it soothes it a couple of times a day. And then on my feet, I used this. I mean, this wasn't full. It doesn't. I mean, I'll pull it up for you to see. Get about that much, just a little sheen on it, and I just rub it in, and you can see it's oily.
mm-hmm.
In the light, how you can see it's oily, and I just rub it, and in just a few minutes, it's just taken care of so much. And I really like it. Now, Bryan will tell you also that what's really important is, see how it says 1,000 milligrams? That means in this container, there's 1,000 milligrams of CBD oil. So there's other stuff in here, but there's 1,000 milligrams. So he's going to tell you how much this should cost
Right.
by knowing how many milligrams of CBD is in it. Will you do that for us,
Right.
Bryan?
Sure. So the first part is to understand what the label needs to say in order to be confident that it's high quality. Then the second thing is what should you pay for CBD? Almost no one tells you that. No one explains how that all works. Bottom line is the industry. I've gone through like the internet trying to find all these different suppliers of CBD, and generally the price ranges between 5 cents and 10 cents per milligram of CBD. So if you have 1,000 milligrams of full spectrum CBD in there, multiply 10 cents times that, that's $100. That's the most that you should pay for CBD is 10 cents per milligram. So if it's 1,000 milligrams, it's $100. So if you're paying $100 for something that's got 100 milligrams of CBD in it, you're paying way too much money. Just had one of my friends in the lipedema community refer me to a friend who was paying $79 for like a container that had like 100 milligrams of CBD in it. It's like, it's just a shame because people don't know. They figure you got to spend money. 100,000 milligrams, that's $40 list from me.
Yes. So
To pay up to
Bryan,
$100 for that wouldn't be too much.
right. So Bryan, this is like 40,
It's
like
$40 list.
$40, right?
Yeah.
Which is a little lower than the 5 cents per milligram. But he does that for the lipedema community.
Right.
He
Yeah.
gives us a discount because he is working with the lipedema community and because Catherine and all of us have given him a chance to be able to sell to us. So he gives the women and the community members a discount on this, just simply because he knows that. Guy, can you shut the door, honey? Because he knows that we live in pain, and he knows that this is going to benefit us. People are saying here that they live in so much pain. So he doesn't just sell salve; he also sells the tincture, which is an eyedropper for under the tongue, and he sells these guys here. I'll show them, Bryan, because I have it.
Okay, good.
Okay, so see, these
Oh,
are little these are little capsules. I just got them today in the mail. Those are little capsules full of CBD oil. He has all the information on the label. It's very scientific. You know exactly what you're getting when you get that. And what's good about that is I take one in the morning, and I'm good most of the time. But I should really love taking it at night, and I probably should just stop taking it in the morning and take it at night. But because it helps me sleep also. My husband takes 2 at night. That's his dose, and it helps him sleep. He's just gotten through some surgery, and it's helped him sleep after his surgery, and it helps ease his pain. So, Blaze wanted to know if you have free shipping.
Yes. I don't no charge for shipping on anything that I sell.
Yeah. And I just want to continue with Debbie with the pain. So she's in a lot of pain, knees down on both legs, and then up to the groin. Should I use it twice a day or just once a day? And how long would the cream last? And now, Bryan, I'm thinking she might want to get more than one product.
Right. She should. Well, here's the thing. The one of the ladies that is, I love her. She says what she does is she puts rubber gloves on because she doesn't want to use the cream on her hands and absorb it into that all the time. Because what she does, she says she slathers it on the top of her legs and the back of her legs, all the way down her legs. And part of the reason why she does that is because the compression garments that she wears are so hard and painful to get on that when she puts the salve on, it lubricates a little bit. So she's able to get her garments on much easier. And so she does that every day, and it lasts the whole day. And she said she's gone from being in debilitating pain. She's the person that said that she never left the house for like long lengths of time, and that she couldn't even get up and downstairs. She was afraid to go downstairs to get out of her house because she wasn't sure she could get back up. Now she's out, she travels around, she drives, she goes to the grocery store, she does all this stuff. And so she puts the cream on and it lasts all day. She also takes the gel caps, once in the morning and once at night. Most of the women take either the gel caps or a tincture once in the morning and once at night. If you try it for a while and it works well at once in the morning and once at night, then I encourage people, if they would like to save some money, which is it's important to try to reduce the amount of money you're spending, try either taking it at night if you've got restless leg or pain at night and it keeps you awake. Try taking one at night and then don't take it in the morning and see how it goes. See if you continue to have no pain or very little pain. And so some of the women are able to do that. They drop it down and it works fine. And Gail is one of the women who seems to find that one a day works fine for her.
Right. And one a day does, unless, well, like the other day though, I needed a little extra boost and it helped.
Yeah.
But also if you think about it, if it works, if one in the morning and one at night works, great. Or maybe both at night, depending on how the one at night works. So you
Right.
can adjust it because you can't really OD on this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would take, I mean, but you don't want to
You can
take
drink the
more
bottle
than
and
you
you'll be
need.
fine.
Huh?
You can drink the bottle and you'll be fine.
Right. But
Right.
you won't want to take more than you need because that's not efficient use of your
Right.
money.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The community has asked if I would share your website. So first of all, I put in there, as you can see, it says https://Calendly. You can click on that link and make an appointment to talk directly to Bryan. He'll have a
I
little Zoom
want to
call
talk
with
to
you.
everybody. I'm happy to talk. Yeah.
Right. And then also, I'm going to put in his website where you can just go to it. But Bryan is always happy to talk to people through email, through text, through phone calls, through Zoom meetings. That's where you get the Calendly link. And I'm going to put his website in. It's www.naturalwellnessboston.com. So the there's two things that I want to talk about. So Stacy says that she took CBD oil orally and it did not work. Is there a difference between that and the gel capsules?
It's the CBD that she took orally. If it was the right strength and the right quality, and it doesn't work, then the liquids that I both the tincture and the gel cap, the capsules are the same thing. It's 25 milligrams of CBD, and you take it either by swallowing it like a capsule or you put it under your tongue. And the women, just generally the people who've taken it, try the one or the other. Some people hate the taste of a tincture, so they do the gel cap. Some people really want a tincture. So those are the main thing. And so I would give this product a try, just to make sure that the quality of the CBD that you're taking in the past, if it wasn't from me, then I'm happy, by the way, to look at anybody, take a picture of the front label and the back label on whatever product you're buying and using, whether it, even if it works fine. If you text that to me, I'll give you a rundown on what I think is in there and what the quality level of it is. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to have people buy locally. If that's what they'd rather do, it's fine.
Okay, so Stacy is the one who asked that question. And Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in Switzerland. I thought I saw. Yes, she's in Switzerland. So do you know so you can figure out if you can ship to Switzerland or not?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know for sure that I can, because a lot of the countries are really strict about that. But the first thing to do is just send me a picture of what you're taking. And if it's working, then, I'll tell you if it's good or not. And then you can kind of decide whether you want to use mine or not. But I'll tell you right away whether yours is got the right quality.
Right. Or if for some reason you can't ship to there, you could maybe help her discover where she could get a good quality
Absolutely.
product.
I'll be happy to do that. I do that
Yeah.
with a number of the ladies in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is from Blaze. They say, I have trouble swallowing, so I'd like to know dosing on the tincture.
Yeah. The dosing on the tincture, there's a scale right on the dropper bottle, and it starts at 0.25 milligrams, and then it goes to 0.5 and so on upwards. I recommend to start to try with the 0.5 milliliters. It's just a small, relatively small amount of it that you just put under your tongue so you don't have to worry about swallowing the capsule. And it works great. It goes right into your bloodstream that way. A lot of the women, about 50-50, half of the women use the tincture and half of the women use the gel caps. And it's just your preference.
So when with the gel cap and the tincture, is one dose of the gel cap, one capsule, does it contain the same amount of tincture that you should be taking?
Essentially, yeah. The Western Mass, the one that is the gel, the capsules, that has 25 milligrams of CBD in each capsule, and a half a milliliter is about 30 milligrams. But it's really,
Okay.
there's no
Oh,
real difference in those. That it's you're getting a major proper dose. That's the right dose, 25 to 30 milligrams per dose.
okay. So then the other comments are from Barbara. She says, I use salve and oil and it is great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Stacy says that yes, that wasn't from you, and she'll reach out because hers. She says hers doesn't work,
Okay. Yeah.
and that's the thing. Sometimes it doesn't work, and it could be that your product doesn't have what it needs to have in it,
Right.
enough oil,
Mm.
or it could be not full spectrum.
Right.
If it's just CBD oil, if all it says is CBD oil or CBD isolate,
Mm-hmm.
it's not full spectrum. And
It's really not going to work if it's not full spectrum.
right. So then Debbie says, does the capsule go right into your stream? And if not, how long does it take?
I don't notice it takes the capsules go through your digestive system and into your bloodstream. So the idea is to get the CBD into your bloodstream. And we get essentially all of our nutrients by digesting food that comes into our body and it gets into our bloodstream. So that's a very efficient way of getting product into your bloodstream. It's considered to be that if you actually have a liquid that goes under your tongue and it goes in through your saliva glands, it's a more direct, simpler route to your bloodstream. So some people think that it's better to do a tincture, but I think it really makes a difference is the taste. I do both because I like to try to stay up on everything that all of the products. So I do tinctures sometimes and then I'll switch to the capsules. I
Yeah.
don't see a
And
difference.
and as Lori Creighton wanted to know, does the tincture get into the bloodstream faster than going through the stomach? And
That's generally true.
it's generally true on all tinctures. A lot of people don't mind the taste.
Mm.
I don't mind the taste
Mm.
when I was taking it in the morning. Now, you guys know me. You guys know how I get a little bit on the goony side, and I was taking it. I had never taken a tincture of any type before. So I was loading up my eyedropper and I was putting it in. I got CBD hanging out of my mouth and drizzling down in the back of my throat. I'm like, okay, I gotta go bed. I'm holding it in my mouth like thinking, come on, absorb, 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 please absorb. And it's dribbling. And I would just get a scratchy throat and everything. And I told Bryan, I can't do the tincture. I can't do the tincture. Well, then I get the capsules and they're only like this big. I'm like, oh, I bet you I was taking like 4 or 5 doses of tincture at once.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, my lips were all like greasy. It was a mess. So anyway, once I learned that I didn't have to put a gallon of tincture in my mouth, just a little bit under the tongue, and it would absorb in during the day, and it was like night and day on the flavor, on the scratchiness in the back of the throat, because I was just like pouring it down my gullet, because, you know, because I don't know what a dose is. Well, I didn't even read the little glass thing. I just went, yeah. So anyway, Barbara says
Send instructions. I send instructions on to anybody new, and please feel free to call me when you get it. I try to get a hold of everybody. I try to call a lot of the women. I try to call everybody if I can, but please call me, text me, whatever. I'll be happy to
yeah.
talk.
I mean, come on, you guys. You know me. I'm not going to do anything like read instructions. Okay, so Stephanie wants to know, should it say full spectrum on the container?
It should say full spectrum on the container. If it doesn't say it, you don't have it, because it's much cheaper to sell you, for the manufacturer to sell you CBD isolate, and there's another thing they call them broad spectrum, but it's chemically pulled out of the product, and you don't really want it.
And as you can see on this one, if you scroll in, it says right under the 1,000 milligrams, full spectrum CBD. And on the back, it has all the stuff that Bryan wants you to understand it's
Manufactured at
important.
Town Farm. Yep.
That's important. And then, so we have Stephanie asked, I had gastric bypass. How does that affect absorption of the product?
A number of the people in the community have had gastric bypass. I know people. I have friends who've had gastric bypass, and they taken the CBD, and they don't seem to notice anything significantly different about that. It's just that we know that with the bypass, the food goes through kind of quickly. And so, but when it gets into your digestive system, I don't know that it's any different with the gastric bypass. So I don't think the absorption, but some of the ladies have said to me, I've had gastric bypass, so I want the tincture so it goes right into my saliva glands. So
Right. Right. Because it's going in through your saliva glands. It's going in through the glands in your mouth. So it's going right into the bloodstream.
More direct way.
So we're going to go through a couple of these other things fairly quickly. We're already at 42 minutes, which is okay. We've got all night. Barbara says the taste is grassy, which is true. But the relief is worth that brief displeasure of grassiness.
Thanks, Barbara.
I love that.
Yeah.
Relief is worth the brief displeasure. I love it. And like Stacy says she would try anything to help with the pain.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
I think that all of us, we're at that
Please
point
give
where
me a
it's like,
buzz. I'll be happy to talk to you.
yeah, what? Yeah. Stacy, click on that link, make an appointment with him, or throw him an email, so that you can get a hold of Bryan. Here's another one. Debbie says, okay, can you eat or drink if you take the tincture right after you take it, or do you have to wait?
No, you don't have to wait. You can take it with food. Some people, put the tincture in their food, because they would rather just get it mixed in the food so they don't have to taste it. It doesn't make any difference. Do it, whatever the food thing is. I think some people take the gel caps or the tincture, and then they take some food after that because it helps to not get it to repeat. For some people, it kind of repeats a little bit, and you can catch up.
So you kind of feel a little bit like you burp it a little bit.
Yeah, little burpers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if that's of concern, take food before it, after it, and see how it works for you. But it's the food won't harm anything.
Yeah, and I'm getting used to the taste, and it's like fun. So here's a couple more comments. Stacy, she's from Switzerland. I never sleep because she kicks all night from the pain. Thus, me being always awake for these live sessions from Switzerland. Oh, I can't wait, Stacy, for you to sleep all night so you don't get to talk to us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here, Stacy. Hopefully we get you some relief. Jude says, I currently use Hemplucid's brand, organic, full spectrum, but probably more than one farm. So I've put in an order with you, and we'll see how they compare.
Oh,
Jude,
wonderful. Great.
Yeah, and let us know,
Yeah,
And
yeah, please.
Jude has said that she loves the grassy. So let's see. What does Barb say here? She takes let's see, 600 milligrams, 75
75 milliliters. I don't know.
milliliters. Oh, milliliters puts me right to sleep.
I think
Do I?
the 600 milligrams is what's in the total container. So you'd be spending like $60 or less for that. And if it's full spectrum and it says what farm it's from, yeah, I'd be fine with that and organic. Yeah.
Okay. So then Stephanie says, do I need an appointment to order? No,
No,
you don't.
no, just go right
And
on and order the order. If you want to just get started with the regular thing that most people do, just order the I'll put it upside down. Is that right? No. Anyways,
no, Brian,
Gail
you
will
were
put it.
right the first time.
Gail will put it.
You order this.
Mm-hmm.
These are the
Yep.
capsules. This is the salve.
Yep. And if you sign up as a wellness group kind of thing, which is just a subscription program where once a month you'll get an email 10 days ahead of time to say, we're planning to ship this to you. If you're fine with it, don't do anything. If you want me to change it, just reply to the email and I'll just change it. I do it all the time. And so you're not committed to get the product every month. You're just kind of committed to say, I'll listen to you once a month, as far as like, letting me know that you want to ship something to me. But nobody has to get anything that they don't want to get. And it's 15% discount if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Money.
So here's some more comments, and that's true. And I put his Calendly link. That's his appointment scheduling system where you just click on it and you pick a time to talk to him. It's just like you'd go, oh yes, 5:30 Wednesday, bing, and I'll take that or whatever it's on it. Just click on it. Here's what Jude says. I put it in my coffee. She likes grassy things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Barb uses Ananda full spectrum 600 milligram, but she also asked for the link to make an appointment.
Yeah.
So one more time, I am going to bring up Brian's email, and as you see, he spells Brian with a Y. It is just simply like all of our emails, Brian@lipedema-simplified.org. I'm going to also put that in the chat or in the comments. It's easy to get a hold of Brian. He will take a phone call. He will take an email. He will take a text. He will take an appointment on that Calendly link. Brian doesn't mind putting his phone number out there for the world to get a hold of. What's your phone number, Brian? 210?
508.
508.
450.
450.
2010.
2010. That's where the 210 came from.
I'm friends with almost all of the ladies or the members of the community that are using the products. I'm friends with everybody and I'm happy to talk to everybody.
Yeah, feel free to send him a text. Please I'm going to tell you though, please respect. He lives on the East Coast. Please respect office hours. Don't send him messages all night long. He is married. His wife will knock him in the head with a rolling pin if his phone dings all night. So now the link to purchase. I don't have the link to purchase, but I'll put his website in there.
That's the link to purchase, Steph. Okay. When you go to that website, the first thing you see is the products right up there in front of you with the prices, and you just click on what you want and order it.
It's naturalwellnessboston.com. I'm putting that in again. Make sure I'm spelling it right. Naturalwellnessboston.com. And seriously, you can. It's easy. When I started out, Brian, I I did this thing where I'm like, okay, I'll take the tincture. Of course, I made a mess all over. Um, and and the reason I did is because my Aunt Sandy
Mm.
wanted some pain relief for her back. She gave me the tincture. She took the capsules. She wanted to try both. Um, and she found that the salve she kept all the time with her in her purse because, she starts to get achy in the car. She can rub a little bit of that into her back and it soothes her. But she gave me the tincture. The tincture helped, but I didn't know what to do with all the mess that I was making out of myself. I was using way too much. I wasn't overdosing, but I was like using more than I needed. And the capsules worked. They calmed my legs. They helped my hands to keep from itching. They helped my husband sleep. And sleep deprivation is really hard on us. And so the better we can sleep. So that's one of the reasons I started taking it. And I'm finding that I take it every day now just for the calmness in my body. And I don't feel that aching all the time.
Mm.
So, yes, driving with this is another question. Driving with the product is fine.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Yep.
especially this particular product because there's nothing in it except CBD.
Mm.
There's no melatonin in it. There's no other things in it that's supposed to calm you down. Because I know that I used to take a sleep CBD tablet, but I had nightmares. It's because it had melatonin in it.
Mm.
This has nothing in it but the CBD oil and all of its full spectrum entourage compounds. So
Yes.
I'm gonna
Driving with the product is fine.
yeah.
For
So driving with it is fine.
non-psychoactive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Non-psychoactive.
and you don't get drowsy. I take it in the morning. I don't get drowsy. Um, and I take it at night. I don't get drowsy. However, for some reason, you take it at night just before you climb into bed, and you can feel your body calm down. So it's like, okay, brain now can go. I can be calm now. But it doesn't make me drowsy.
Right.
It just
Right.
calms my body. Like the jerking legs don't just keep me going. There's just something about it that helps me with that. So, I want to go through real quick because we've only been on here for 53 minutes. I do want to say thank you so much to everybody. Bryan, thank you for everything. And Debbie's giving you her appointment schedule right
Oh,
now.
good.
Yes, it does help with anxiety. It
Yes.
does. And, make an appointment with Bryan. He'll give you like right now, we're speaking without using slides, right? We're not giving a
Right.
presentation like Bryan has slides that you can see and he'll that has all the information. So either you can take notes or take a screenshot to see the information. Here is one thing you have to make sure you do. If you're on medications, with certain medications, you need to make sure that your doctor knows that you're planning on starting CBD, especially if you're taking it internally,
Hmm.
because it may either make your medication work better or not as well, right? It might have some type of an effect on the dosage of your medication. We have one lady who was taking Lasix for a particular thing, not swelling, um, but for not she wasn't taking it due to like high blood pressure. She was taking it for another reason. And when she started taking CBD, she didn't have to take as much Lasix. So, but she has to tell her doctor um, that she's taking CBD so that the doctor knows if they need to adjust the medication,
Right. Right.
right? So it's and it has because it has such a good effect on lowering inflammation And many of our medications are there to try, and they're fighting inflammation, and that's what they're doing. And so if, like high blood pressure, if your inflammation goes down, your blood pressure might drop also, to a normal amount. So if you're taking certain medications, please make sure that you just let your doctor know. I've decided I want to start taking CBD to see if it helps with this. Will you keep track of my medication?
Yeah.
Because it is important to know that it can help you feel better.
Mm.
So maybe it's helping with another process. Um, so Debbie says she's going to call the pharmacy before Friday. Barbara said, I can't pronounce the levathrinoxin for thyroid's known concern for interaction. Yeah, so you just Stephanie just bought herself a stocking stuffer.
That's great.
Stephanie.
God, that's fun.
Yeah, it's quite amazing when you find a product and you find out information. One of the biggest things about those of us who deal with lipedema is we are looking for answers.
Mm.
And when I say we're looking, I mean we're researching, we're trying to figure out how things work for us. We read, we watch videos, we're constantly searching for answers. And if there's a product out there that might help us, we want to know about it.
Mm.
And we get people who talk about, oh, I take Mucinex. Oh, I take this, and this is my supplements. And what we're finding often is that some of our community members, CBD has helped. And you're not seeing it anywhere out in the literature. There just hasn't been any studies about how
Right.
CBD helps with lipedema pain. But there have been studies about how CBD helps with pain, right? Not just lipedema pain. So this is all new. So if you get any results at all from using CBD, keep track of it, keep record of it.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know,
Mm.
because this might be something that helps so many people, and it might be something that Bryan himself can share with his farmer, and he can share in the CBD community, right?
Yeah.
That this has helped this group, this these this per, these this group of people who have a disease that causes pain for whatever reason. We don't always know why lipedema is painful. I mean, we really don't know. I mean, we suspect it's because of the extra pressure and the fibrotic tissue and we have all these things, but if lipedema can help with that pain, think about how many people we can help just knowing that CBD helps for those of us with lipedema pain, or the discomfort of our jumpy legs, or just our bodies tingling and aching at night and things like that. So yeah, it's really important for you to let us know if you have any successful results with this. And yeah, so Stephanie says she deals with lipedema and lymphedema 5 days a week with so many patients dealing with this pain. Yeah. And dealing with it. And so it's so important to know. Stephanie says, a disclaimer, she runs a vein clinic.
Mm. Oh, great.
And she just bought herself a stocking stuffer. So Stephanie, thank you so much. And seriously, Stephanie, if you do, make connections with Bryan.
Yeah.
To see if maybe some of your clients, your patients, could benefit from his knowledge.
Mhm.
right? Because that's one thing he wants to do is educate. Educate us about the benefits. And whether you like I say, whether people buy it from him or buy it from somebody else, he wants to make sure that people become pain free. And his prices aren't any more or less than anybody else's, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty standard.
Mm.
So, okay. And now there is one more thing I need to talk to you about. I've been talking so much. So, Bryan, chitter chatter for a minute. Yes.
I guess
Stephanie
the
says,
questions about like the anxiety, there's quite a number of the compounds that have been in full spectrum CBD that have been studied to see what effect they have. And many of the compounds are noted in the white papers that I read as reducing anxiety. But it's not like taking some of those narcotics. We're not blocking the pain signals, which a lot of the drugs that people take to reduce pain. We're reducing inflammation, and we're treating our bodies really well with really good products that come from this plant. And so it's a win-win both ways. We're not damaging our body by utilizing CBD, and if it works for you, it's pretty dramatic. So it's worth trying it out.
yeah, it is. And speaking of white papers, with all of the research that Bryan has done with this, because he has, he was trying to figure things out and realized there wasn't very much information from other people from other CBD sources. They weren't
Mhm.
always knowing
Yeah,
why CBD worked, whatever. So he started digging around. As a retired chemical engineer, he's like, well, I got to figure out why this works.
I want to
And
know.
so, yeah, so he started digging around. And from I know for a fact that if I were to write an email to Bryan and say, Bryan, give me a white paper that explains why da 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 da. He will go into his files.
Hmm.
He'll pull up a link for you or for
Hmm.
me
Yeah.
and send you the paper
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he
National
he
Institute of
published.
Health has lots of articles, lots of white papers that have been published, and there's a lot of different places where I go to get published white papers, and they're really, really high quality. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's if you're informed and you're knowledgeable about something, you're more likely to give something a try
Hmm.
and maybe get a benefit from it. And it's not a bunch of hype. Like, it's not coming off of some commercial where it says, "Oh, use this, da, 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 da," right? This is
Right.
like, here's why it works. And then Stephanie had one more comment. She says, "No, the price is about the same. She already has some, but she's happy to try his," which is cool. I learned something new today. Stephanie, we're
Right.
so glad that you found something today
Right.
that you
Yeah.
can use. And Sharon says she would be interested in the actual papers with reduction of inflammatory markers and also cytokines.
Okay.
Sharon, make sure that you email Bryan.
Yeah. Just
Start
email me so I've got your email address, and I'll get the stuff to you. Love to. I love that stuff.
Yeah. And start a conversation,
Yeah.
because you never
Yeah.
know what you can do with that information that you get. And speaking of information, I'm gonna move off of Bryan for a minute.
Oh, my.
No, we'll come back
Mm.
to it. So, well, Lipedema Simplified wants to say happy holidays to everybody. I do. We have a wonderful community. Lipedema community has been a fabulous wealth of knowledge. All of our members, anybody who comes into our community who speaks with us, always either has answers or they have questions. And when we find those answers, all of us benefit. So please make sure that you always ask questions. We believe the answer is out there. We wish you a happy holiday, and we're going to give you an a holiday gift. And that holiday gift is the opportunity to come to a free webinar and it's a free webinar fireside chat. It's called The Top Tips. And those top tips have come from the last 10 years. So we want to be able to share with you what our community has shared with us over the last 10 years as top tips. And I do have to tell you, one of the top tips this year has been that CBD oil helps relieve pain. That's a top tip. The other top tips you will find when you register for our free webinar. It's going to be held on December 29th. It is going to be hosted by Catherine Seo, by Dr. Catherine Seo, by Dr. Leslyn Keith, by Siobhan Huggins, the amazing research specialist that you guys have all seen around here, and me, the community manager of Lipedema Simplified and the director of coaching. And we're going to put on a webinar, a fireside chat, which means it's not like this where Bryan and I are talking to you and you're writing to us. It's going to be the four of us are going to be hosting a meeting where you're going to be involved, where you get to be right there in the picture with us. And some people have already signed up. I can't wait. Debbie has, and Jude has. And so please make sure that it's December 29th. Now, I know for a fact that some of you aren't going to be able to make it. Register anyway, because you will get the replay. And not only will you get the replay, you also might get, like, I don't know, a gifty, a little bonus surprise. You never know what's going to happen when you register. But what'll happen for sure is that you'll be able to get the replays and you'll get to come and see us. So I put that link in the comments. And so you should just be able to click on it. Now, in these comments, there have been a lot of links. There's been Bryan's email. There has been Bryan's phone number. There's been Bryan's Calendly link so you can get a hold of him like, I'm making an appointment. There has been Bryan's website. And now there is a free fireside chat webinar for you on the 29th of December. I mean, happy Hanukkah, happy solstice, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. And if you don't do holidays, happy day, right? Because we have got so much for you. And with that, it has now been an hour and 8 minutes. He has not broken he just broke my record. Last one was an hour 7. Anyways, but all I see are 7 loves up there. So push the heart or hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube, YouTube, and if a heart if you're on Facebook, and give us some love. And if you have not subscribed for our channels or you're not following us yet, make sure that you do so you can get the next. Oh, I got 11! Yay! But the more you and then if you like what you saw today and you really think somebody out there in this world that you either care about or who cares about you or who you don't even care about, I don't care. Share it. Share this with them because this can be a great share. Hey, if you're on YouTube and you're on Facebook, both, go to YouTube, grab it off of YouTube, share it on your Facebook page. Share it wherever you can share things because people really need relief. And that's what we want to do. That's everything that Lipedema Simplified and Bryan Hayward, our wonderful guest tonight, we want people to find relief. Relief from pain, relief from anxiety, relief from sleepless nights, from jumping legs. I mean, I know you, my sweet community, Lipedema community. I know your legs jump at night. Mine do. And I know yours do too.
Right.
Sorry, I get all emotional. and my legs don't jump.
Don't make me cry, Gail.
Bryan, I ordered CBD the very first time because my hands itched.
Yeah.
And now my legs don't jump.
Right.
What can I
Right.
say?
That's
You
it.
know? And Blaze just sent me, oh, I don't know how to count this many zeros. That's what she sent me. I
Oh
love you
my
too,
God,
Blaze.
isn't that great?
We haven't talked for quite a while, but I love you. I love you, sister. Anyway, Bryan, if there is one message that you want to echo around the world, what would it be?
It's not your fault that you have lipedema. I think that's a really big deal. It happened to you, not your fault.
Thank you. And my one message to all of you, because you just made me cry. You're not alone. And there's hope. We're here for you. I hope you have a wonderful night, a wonderful day, wherever you are. Don't forget, we care for you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.